So how many times have you run into this? You're about to work on your car. You want to do some maintenance by yourself, do a DIY project, and everyone and their mother on forums tells you how easy it is, how you should be able to do this in 30 minutes or an hour or whatever it might be. And so you go into the project and it's not as easy as everyone says it is. It's actually a lot more snags than you thought. There's a lot of random nuanced things that no one seems to talk about. And so it got me thinking, okay, what resources can I use outside of YouTube? And ChatGPT came up. And what I did with my 2005 4Runner was I had ChatGPT give me a step-by-step guide for sourcing all the correct parts, the tools that I'll need, and executing the replacement of the spark plugs for this rig. And it actually turned out really well. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you guys how I use ChatGPT for this pretty straightforward servicing of my 4Runner. I hope this helps you out for all the people where maybe you don't have the helpful mechanic dad, maybe you don't even have a dad, and I'm sorry. But we're going to show you how ChatGPT could at least fill that hole of someone who's there to help you out with car stuff. And you could ask it the most ridiculous things and it'll give you a pretty damn good answer. So let's jump into it. Okay, so first things first, gotta give the dog some love. If it wasn't obvious enough, the best way to use this is you want to get as specific as possible. Now you don't need to get crazy granular, but specifying what model you have, what engine configuration, whatever it might be, is only going to help ChatGPT make sure that it's sourcing the right information. So look at that, it gives me the tools that I need, it gives me ways to prep the truck, starts with all the instructions, and it gives you a complete guide pretty much to doing this job. And the cool part is that you could double click into this. So from the prompt, you could probably get what I'm saying with it being something where it's really helpful to give you a guide. You could ask it secondary questions, and then it could also give you visuals, even source the videos for you. That's all great. But when I was doing the spark plugs, I want to talk about the really niche things that I ran into as someone doing DIY work, where no one really seems to talk about this, but it's relevant. So my 4Runner's temperature wasn't completely cold, and I have aluminum heads, and I'm threading in a steel part, the steel part being the spark plug itself. So I kept thinking, okay, at what temperature can I actually thread this thing in without potentially damaging anything? Does the heat have any factor when it comes to torquing it to spec where you can over torque it too easily? That's the stuff that I would want to know going into this because I'm just OCD like that. Go to ChatGPT, ask it, gives me a full guide. It says, if it's been 2 to 4 hours, if you could put your hand on the head for about 5 to 15 seconds and it doesn't get too hot to where it hurts, you're probably okay and good to go. That was really helpful. That was something that, again, I would have called to verify with someone, but it's nice to have ChatGPT. The second thing came up with anti-seize versus no anti-seize. Now, what I'm referring to is when you thread in a spark plug, anti-seize is sometimes applied to that so you don't have the spark plugs kind of locked into the head, because again, sometimes there's a reaction with steel and aluminum where it can kind of bind together and get really hard to knock it off. But ChatGPT shared with me that the Denso plugs have some sort of coating or material around it where it's not going to be totally necessary. Now, before you check me on that and tell me I should do anti-seize, I don't care. It's going to be good for the next 100,000 mile interval. So that's tomorrow's problem, or really like a decade's problem from now. So don't worry about that. Third thing that popped up, I don't know which cylinder it was. The closest cylinder on the driver's side, closest to the cabin, that one was really hard to get out because the metal lines of the brake booster got in the way of the extension that I had. And I had the rotating extension, all that good stuff, everything that ChatGPT told me to get. But what I realized was I can pivot, I could use a shorter extension and kind of do a little Lego action with some extensions that I have, and then also use a U-joint, and I was able to get access to it. So again, save me from that. Stuff that people don't talk about. So look, I'm no expert with AI, but the thing that I noticed is that the better the context that you give it and the goal that you share that you're trying to get from it, it makes it so much more in tune with what you're trying to do. So when I tell it specific problems and tell it exactly what I'm trying to do through said specific problems, instead of it just generating a bunch of stuff, That's what really moves the needle with these prompts, is when you give it really accurate data, when you tell it exactly what you're trying to do in certain scenarios. That's what gets you out of a pinch with ChatGPT and doing DIY maintenance with it. Guys, look, if you're not using ChatGPT as some sort of extra source, at least, of validating what you're doing or troubleshooting on your car, you're really missing out, in my opinion. As much as I love asking my dad for help and having him help me figure this out, if I'm working on stuff at a really odd hour, which I always tend to do for some weird reason, it's nice to have a resource that'll spit out immediate responses to any sort of troubleshooting advice, any sort of step-by-step instructions or resources it can give to you. And it makes maintenance a lot less intimidating, even though we already had YouTube and other parts available. This is scrubbing the internet and giving you so much more data at your fingertips that I think anyone who's gonna do DIY work, you might as well just run it through a ChatGPT script or some relative AI tool just to see what it spits out. So once I got its advice on what to do for cleaning stuff, what to do for handling the engine temperature, what to do for all this granular things that I want to check the box on as someone who's really OCD about my stuff, I was done with my spark plugs on my 4Runner. It fired up right away and I was super happy. I used to think that doing something like your differential oil or other things relative to that, your coolant and your brake fluid or your power steering fluid, flushing those out, I always thought that was such a big task that you had to have some special machine or equipment for, and I had to take it to the mechanic. But then I realized, no, I'm just paying a ton for someone else to do it and not take the same level of care that I am for my own vehicle. So guys, let me know what you think of this. I thought it was a really interesting thought of why not use AI for DIY work and have less of an excuse to not do stuff on your own and help you save some money in the process. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will catch you on the next video.